Hello and Mingalaba, welcome to MI Radio's Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. State Counsellor held a discussion with COVID-19 patients via a video conference. The country has been hit with the coronavirus and there's a sharp decrease in sale force of coconut and banana. And a story coverage on booming elephant food yam business in Chin State. All of that coming up later on Myanmar Today, but for now let's take a look at what's happening in local news. State Counsellor Aung San Suu Kyi, in her capacity as the chairperson of the National Central Committee for COVID-19 Prevention, Control and Treatment, held a video conference Tuesday from the Presidential Palace in Naypyidaw with a patient who has been confirmed positive. Anesthesiologist Dr. Min Min Sein, case 30, and two other patients, Go Tang Swan Kain, case number 1 from Kitao village of Tidin Township in Chin State, and Go Jo Lin Tet, case number 4 from Chamyatazi Township in Mandalay region, who are recovering from COVID-19. In response to the discussion with the patients, the State Counsellor talked about the need to follow the health-related directives, rules and regulations, and the measures and plans to be undertaken by the state to fulfill the requirements. The State Counsellor said that it is possible to overcome the COVID-19 disease, that it is necessary to build one's own inner strength by oneself, and that it is possible, that it is necessary to transform it into strength, that it is important to encourage each other and provide mutual support. She said the first point is the importance of self-reliance, and the fact that only you can provide protection to yourself. The second important thing is your society. It is important for your society to provide you with support. All citizens should have self-confidence. They should learn how to live properly. They should provide compassion and warmth to each other. Laboratory tests of the Department of Medical Research have shown 3 positive cases of COVID-19 out of the 87 samples tested at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. The remaining 84 were tested negative. Meanwhile, the National Health Laboratory in Yangon reported at 7 p.m. on Tuesday on its first group of 58 tests showing all negative. There are a total of 149 confirmed cases in Myanmar up to 8 p.m. on Tuesday. In the laboratory tests, 6 patients were found negative for 2 times, case number 6, 19, 20, 24, 25, and 29. It means that 16 people have recovered. They have been allowed to leave the hospitals and stay in isolation. Only 5 positive patients have died until now. A total of 89 new people are under investigation from Monday noon to Tuesday noon. Test results from the National Health Laboratory in Yangon on the samples of PUIs and isolated persons will be published later. In order to overcome the immediate negative impact of COVID-19, the Ministry of Planning, Finance and Industry has issued a comprehensive economic stimulus plan, namely Overcoming as One, COVID-19 Economic Relief Plan, CERP, having 7 goals, 10 strategies, 36 action plans and 76 actions, covering a broad range of extraordinary fiscal and monetary measures combined with a set of human-focused and common-sense policy responses. The CERP is accordingly designed to meet the current exigencies Myanmar faces in ways that reaffirm our long-term strategic direction. It consists of policies and proposals that are as realistic and implementable as they are bold and hopeful. The CERP is scrupulous in matching outlays with financing, whether this is via budgetary reallocation, innovative private sector partnerships, or through arrangements with multilateral financial institutions and other development partners. That's all with the local news. Let's take a look at the first report now. State Counsellor Aung San Suu Kyi held a video conference with the COVID-19 patients to share their experience when they were suffering from the virus and how they are dealing with the disease. The participants include the first confirmed case of COVID-19 in Myanmar, the first infected medical professional, and the patient who has been already discharged from a hospital. Doras Within reports.
In her capacity as the chairperson of the National Central Committee for Prevention, Control and Treatment of COVID-19, State Counsellor Aung San Suu Kyi hosted the video conferencing with the COVID-19 patients. Together with the State Counsellor, the participants Go Tang Swan Kai, case 01 from Chin State, Go Jo Lin Tet, case 04 from Mandalay, and Dr. Min Min Sein, case 30 from Pye, talk about their experience as the COVID-19 victims. The state councillor is hosting regular video conferencing with those who are participating in the fight against COVID-19, and this is the very first time of discussion with the COVID-19 patients. Ko Tang Suan Kai is the first patient to be reported on being infected with the COVID-19 on 23rd March after coming back from the United States. It has been a month and he is currently being treated at Tidim General Hospital and he is doing well and he is in a stable situation. Although some of his family members and close contact persons are infected, they are also in good condition. Dr. Myanmar is an anesthesiologist from the General Hospital and she is the first medical professional to be infected with COVID-19. She mentioned about the necessity of the medical workforce, new equipment for the new disease, training and professionalism of the medical workers in the act of dealing with the newly discovered disease.
First,
the infrastructure of the hospitals is important in an effort to deal with newly discovered diseases or treatments. For the training and professionalism, it takes long to train a professional medical worker. Together with the health industry, the education sector comes to an important role. Now the universities of medicine are teaching the students with the help of advanced technology. All have to take time to change. We understand that the hospitals in remote areas are in need of infrastructure, equipment, and workforce. But it is great to witness that our country is rich of warm-hearted helpers who are giving aid to the government by donating the facilities. So we have to depend on the cooperation and the support of our citizens.
Ko Zhou Linda, who is now under home quarantine after receiving negative results for twice, also shared that when he was in Cantonadi Hospital in Mandalay, there is insufficient basic supplies such as water and the medical workforce is not enough to take care of the personal issue of the patients despite giving treatment. The state councillor claimed to take immediate actions to make sure to have enough basic supplies. For the personal care of the patients, she requested the volunteers to involve, like the volunteer group We Love Yangon is assisting in Wipaki Hospital. Having no proper treatment, it is important to depend on the immune system of the patients in fighting against the disease. The patients in the video conferencing shared that they have calmly accepted and are fighting the virus through most peaceful mindset and self-motivation. The state councillor also highlighted the needs of the psychological support for the patients.
I have so far all the symptoms of COVID-19 except heart breathing in the first week, and I was in the state of being unable to move around. However, in the third week, although my test results show positive, I am able to be active. I can do singing, yoga, and dancing. I am expecting to have results showing positive because I have oxygen shortage. But I don't panic. I believe I can recover. Not all COVID-19 patients die. The patient have to make sure to enhance strong immune system. But I understand that not all people can resist the state of isolation. So, if possible, I want to suggest that the patient should have access to easy communication with the outside world. There's also breathing exercise and yoga video by the rehabilitation departments. These are the most essential tools in the bid to fight against COVID-19 since there is no proper treatment.
The state councillor said that self-motivation and belief of being able to recover are important for the patients. She encouraged the public not to panic or be over-frightened, but also not to be careless. According to the announcement, on the night of 28 April, there are a total of 149 cases, and 16 of the patients have already discharged from the hospital. That's all for now. This is Dora Susan from MI Radio.
That's a report on which the state councillor held a discussion with COVID-19 patients via a video conference. All right, we're now joined by a senior journalist from China Media Group, Xu Qingduo, and he'll give us some updates on companies in China that are turning their factories to produce medical equipment. There is a rumor or allegation going around that China stymies the export of the COVID-19 materials. What's your take on that?
Good morning, I'm Xu Qianduo reporting from Beijing. Good question. As for the allegation, misunderstanding, or even speculation that China is preventing the export of these medical supplies, well, it simply defies the logic. Remember, China brought the situation under control last month, and the Chinese government has been trying hard to reopen the economy, to recover the manufacturing and production. And also remember, the hardest hit part of the Chinese economy is actually the trade. That means import and export. So if there's an opportunity to export the Chinese goods and services to other countries, I think people will cherish that opportunity instead of preventing the export of products to other parts of the world. So it's simply against the logic that China is preventing or stopping the export of the medical stuff to other countries. The reality is, since the situation has been brought under control, many Chinese manufacturers have remodeled their plants and factories to produce these medical supplies, including masks, goggles, and protective suits, to meet the demand, the growing demand, both inside China and around the world, as the coronavirus continues to reach onto different countries. So during that whole process, there are some problems occurred. For example, some of the products are substandard or failed to meet the standard of certain countries or regions. So there are some complaints, some response, some feedback, and then the Chinese government decided to step in to impose some new rules, some new regulations to regulate this market. During this process, and then with the tightening of the rules and even the new registration of these certificates of some of the manufacturers, and then the whole process of producing the stuff and the procedure of exporting these goods to other countries, I would say, have been delayed to some degree. And then we have a new problem, that is the, I would say, untimely arrival of the Chinese products. So that's, I would say, that's the response, that's the result or side effects of the new regulation or the new practice. That's not on purpose, but to ensure the quality of those products, to make sure they meet the standards of the countries they are exporting to. So that's a new requirement. And unfortunately, there's such side effects. But as far as I know, the situation has been, to a large extent, been dealt with, and the export of those products to overseas have been sped up, and hopefully things will be resolved. The problems will be resolved, and there will be less complaints. But also remember, even as everything is functioning normally or properly, there is still a shortage of those medical supplies, because so many countries are desperate in need of masks, for example. There's simply not that production capacity either in China or other countries, because many plants around the world have been closed because of the COVID-19.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Xu, for your time and information. Stay with us. We're going to bring you more reports on Myanmar Today. Under normal circumstances, people celebrate donation ceremonies and festivities in times when Dinjan is getting near, as the season of summer already sets in. Entrepreneurs of Brokers Sales Center said fear grows in people with the ongoing COVID-19 crisis around the world, and the same fate has been brought upon Myanmar since the coronavirus issue is having severe effects on coconut and banana trade. Here's a report.
Under normal circumstances, people celebrate donation ceremonies and festivals in this time when Dinjan is getting near, as the season of summer already set in. Now the ongoing COVID-19 crisis is making the people across the world to feel afraid and nervous. Also, Myanmar is the same matter, and the coronavirus issue is having severe effects on coconut and banana trade, said the entrepreneurs of the Brokers Sales Center. Aung owner of Bagia Coconut Broker Sales Center said,
We
are the wholesaler for Upper Myanmar. Coconuts are mainly being distributed to Meitila, Tachilate, Mandalay and Mongyua. Coconuts are coming from Lower Myanmar. Now the ongoing COVID-19 crisis is having effect on almost everywhere across the world, including Myanmar. Our main target is Mandalay. Our business is not going well now as good as the previous moments. All of us are in a state of panic. In general, we set target for Tinjan. We are worried in case we have put a large amount of coconut and banana in storage as the virus issue is going on. For that reason, we dare not store larger amount now.
The coconuts from Ayeyarwady region and Rakhine State are entering Yangon, especially mainly distributed to Mandalay, the market of Upper Myanmar. Coconut trade is now seeing a sudden halt as a result of the ongoing COVID-19 issue.
Now the merchants have stopped the purchase and so coconut trade has been a sudden halt. Only about 2 to 3 trucks are now entering. Differences are a big gap. We are sending 1 to 2 trucks to Mandalay a day regularly, but this year it is not so easy to guess. We will be okay only if other side places order us. This year looks very differently and there's only 1 in 10 in our coconut trade.
Banana is the partner commodity of the coconut and it also has to suffer severe effects. Banana sales force is typically rising near and during Tinjan. With the hope for Tinjan, the growers plant banana. Although the banana yield has been high, there is no demand. That is why difficulties are arising, according to the entrepreneurs of the Broker Sales Center. Umantante, secretary of Myanmar Banana Growers and Producer Group, said,
This year the virus makes banana trade become a sudden halt. But all of our broker sales center don't stop working and we are selling goods to the merchants as much as we can. The bananas were grown with the hope of Tinjan and now they are already ripe. This year banana market is not doing well and it's not easy to sell bananas to the merchants. Some sellers have stopped working and some have taken temporary retirement.
Not only the sale force of the coconut and banana, but also their prices have decreased. The government issued an order describing the people must stay at home in regions and states, including Yangon, to take preventative measures against ongoing COVID-19 virus. The local order gives trouble to coconut and banana traders and those who are depending on their business to some degree. Maungzo, worker from Usami Banana Broker Sales Center in Bagia, said,
Our banana trade is not going well for over 1 month this year. We are selling our goods to regular merchants only. Those who buy about 100 bunches of banana regularly now purchase 30 to 50 bunches only. There has been a decrease in the sales of banana and the price declined this year as well. About 300 to 400 bunches of banana from Mandalay and Chaose as well as Shwebu are entering the market. Now there are no buyers in the market, but we have regular customers from all parts of the country. We earn only a little, just enough for family, but we can save.
The entrepreneurs of the Broker Sales Center said the assistance will be rendered to those who are dependent on coconut and banana business within their capacity. Aung owner of Bagia Coconut Broker Sales Center, said,
The virus is breaking out not our country alone. It goes around the world. I think we will deal with the situation to hope for the best. It is meant for our families and our workers. We will have to solve the problem within our capacity.
The entrepreneurs of the coconut and banana businesses point out that cooperation is a key factor and the people must follow the announcements issued by the government despite seeing severe effects on a variety of different types of businesses, because now is the important moment to take preventative measures against COVID-19.
Well, let's move on to the last report before we go to international news. Elephant food yam is one of the rare natural resources in Chin State, making it a good way for locals to earn money. Since the southern part of the Chin State produces the best quality elephant food yam in Myanmar, products from this part of the area are also sold at higher price than other parts of Myanmar. According to the locals, the elephant food yam business has become the best way to reduce poverty in Chin State. Williamson has the story.
Chin State is one of the least developed states in Myanmar, where more than 60% of its population has to live below poverty line index. Some of the main factors which lead to the slow economic growth of this particular state are geographical features of the state makes Chin State hard to reach, as this hilly location and other transportation means cannot be improved due to its geographical features. Therefore, Chin State remains less developed comparing to other states and regions in Myanmar. The Chin people mostly earn their livelihood on agriculture-based work, where slash and burn cultivation is one of the most dominant means to earn livelihoods. Poverty is the main reason why 1 of 5 Chin people leaves their native places and move out of their places in hope of gaining better opportunity somewhere else, thus making Chin people one of the most traveling group of people in the world. However, despite all these advantages brought by its geographical feature, Chin State has an emerging business booming up in recent years, that is, elephant food yam business. In Chin State, for the past around 2 decades, elephant food yam business in the state had become one of the only ways to escape the harshness of poverty in Chin State, and thus business grows year by year. Dr. Pun is one of the locals in southern part of Chin State, and she spoke to MI Radio on how crucial this business to lay people, and she said,
if we are to calculate the year income by elephant food yam business, a person can earn more than what he can earn from his agriculture products. This is the reason why, year by year, less people give importance to slash and burn cultivation. This is the best way to alleviate poverty.
But the worrying part of this booming elephant food yam business is, as it has been years since the locals have been collecting elephant food yam from the forest, it has become much scarce to find it. But as it produces new crops, now the locals start to collect the seeds and plant the new ones. In this way, the elephant food yam is being run. U Anmai is one of the business persons who has been doing elephant food yam business for over 20 years, and he also spoke to MI Radio on how important this elephant food yam business for the locals, saying,
Before this elephant food yam business came to this region, the people were mostly poor. But what happened after the coming of the elephant food yam business is it improved the living standard of the people as their incomes grow. Therefore, this business also helps the locals here escape poverty in this area.
According to the reports by some of the business person, a piece of dry elephant food yam, which is equivalent to 1.6 kg or 3.6 pounds, is worth 10,500 kyat at the local market. 1 green piece can be sold at 2,000 kyat. These dry elephant food yams are collected by the traders and transported them to Mandalay, where the price is a bit higher, gaining 1,000 kyat more than the local price. Doding Soup is also one of the business persons who has been running this business for years, collecting elephant food yam at local market and selling them to Mandalay. And she also spoke to MI Radio and said,
The month of March is the time when the market is very steady with higher amount of products purchased. So the month like I usually send a truck load of elephant food yam twice to thrice in a month. A loaded truck can carry around 8,000 vis to 9,000 vis. But as the number of traders is growing year by year, it is getting hard to get as much as we used to get a few years ago.
According to the traders, Chin State produces a better and quality elephant food yam compared to other states. Therefore, the elephant food yam from this state is sold at a higher price than other states' products. Mindat, complete, and Matubi townships together produces about 1 million vies in a year. So far, Myanmar can only export raw elephant foot yam, but there are 7 elephant drying foot yam factories. These elephant foot yams are exported to China, Japan, and South Korea. This is William San for MI Radio.
And that's all we have for today's reports. Let's check on some international news now. The postponed Tokyo 2020 Olympics will have to be cancelled if the COVID-19 pandemic isn't brought under control by next year, the organizing committee's president said in comments published Tuesday. The pandemic has already forced a year-long delay of the Games, which are now scheduled to open on July 23, 2021. But Tokyo 2020 President Yoshiro Mori said no further postponement was possible. In an interview with Japan's Nikkon Sports Daily, Mori was categorical when asked if the Olympics could be delayed until 2022 if the pandemic remains a threat next year, replying no. Mori said, quote, "In that case, it's cancelled." Mori noted that the Games had been cancelled previously only during wartime and compared the battle against coronavirus to fighting an invisible enemy. An analysis from Yale Climate Connections identified an interesting pattern. The US is following the same playbook in responding to coronavirus as it has with climate change. It turns out a 5-stage science denial is a time-tested approach.
An analysis from Yale Climate Connections identified an interesting pattern. The US is following the same playbook in responding to coronavirus as it has with climate change. It turns out a 5-stage science denial is a time-tested approach. Stage 1. Deny the problem exists. When the first coronavirus case was found in the United States, the country's president said concern over the virus was a hoax.
Now the Democrats are politicizing the coronavirus, and this is their new hoax.
Doesn't it sound familiar? This is almost exactly what the president said 3 years ago on climate change.
Obama's talking about all of this with the global warming and that, and a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay?
Whenever a threat arises, hoax seems to be the go-to response. Pretending a problem doesn't exist doesn't change the reality, especially when a deadly pandemic exposes the truth. So, step forward stage 2. Stage 2. Deny responsibility. As COVID-19 killed tens of thousands of people, the administration started to shift the blame. China and the World Health Organization were easy targets. Top American officials have repeatedly accused China of starting the virus and the World Health Organization of getting every aspect of the pandemic wrong.
The disinformation campaign that the Chinese Communist Party is engaged in to try and deflect from what has really taken place here.
The World WHO, World Health, got it wrong. I mean, they got it very wrong. In many ways, they were wrong.
In their eyes, China is to blame for every threat the US faces. Just look at how the US responded on climate change. China, India, Russia, many other nations, they have not very good air, not very good water in the sense of pollution and cleanliness. They don't do the responsibility. This is what Donald Trump said after accepting global warming was a genuine issue. Being adept at avoiding responsibility doesn't solve the crisis. Therefore, time to move to step 3. Stage 3. Downplay the threat. As COVID-19 spread at an alarming rate, Trump remained optimistic. It's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear, the president told the American public.
We have it so well under control. I mean, we really have done a very good job.
The same optimism was evident in the U.S. approach to climate change.
Is there climate change? Yeah. Will it go back like this? I mean, will it change back? Probably. That's what I think.
As well as Trump, conservative media outlets have spent years trying to convince the public that climate change is no big deal. But as the situation deteriorates and the reality becomes clear, American politicians are forced into the fourth stage. Stage 4. Attack the solutions as too costly.
We can't lose our whole country. We're having an economic collapse. My message is that let's get back to work. Let's get back to living. Let's be smart about it. And those of us who are 70 plus, we'll take care of ourselves.
Social distancing has proved effective in a slew of countries, but American pundits can't lose their whole country, as this approach is too expensive. Also costly is all large-scale climate solutions. American policymakers oppose virtually all of them as too expensive. Compared with thorough solutions, they prefer inadequate steps like not touching the face in the coronavirus's case and planting trees in the climate's case. Without serious action, the crises spiral. So it's time to move to Stage 5. Stage 5. It's too late. The logic is straightforward. It's too late to act. The president planned to reopen America and its economy amid soaring death tolls. The herd immunity approach has returned. While other countries have fought all out against the coronavirus, American leadership has spent months repeating the old climate change playbook. Full marks for sticking to the script, but found wanting in protecting Americans.